What's up guys, Shawnthebro here, and today we're going to be going over another fun episode of combos, and specifically that is our combo ratings. So combo ratings are what I'm calling these ranks that we're giving to combos once we achieve a certain number of hits. So as we come into the game here, and using the logic from the previous episode, we now have a combo counter, so once we get 2 or more hits, the combo counter displays to the screen. However, I also want to rank the combo based on the number of hits given in that combo. By attacking my opponent over and over again, I can go from good to great to excellent to awesome to combo king. This can not only work as a reward system for the player so that they know what type of rank they got for their combo, but it can actually also work for an actual in-game score system if you have that type of thing set up. So for example, in arcade mode, something we will set up in the future, we will have a score. This score will rate how well a player performed in a fight. And so these different types of combos can be used for more than just encouragement for the player, but they can also be used to actually rate the player's skill based on a combo category. So this is a simple episode today. We'll cover this, and then in the next combo episode, we're going to get into revamping the air combat to truly fit with our combo and combat flow. For those of you that want to get caught up in the series, I'll go ahead and link you to this playlist right here in the top right corner. You can check out everything we've done to this point and how we've gotten to the result that you see here on screen. We have come a long way, as this is episode 167. Otherwise, if you don't care about that, but you do care about the combo system, I'm going to link you to the first episode of combos right here in the fighting game tutorial series. We're going to start in our code today, so I'm going to go to my C++, and I'm going to go to my base game instance.h. In base game instance, I keep a lot of enums for different values of things that we may need. I've added a new enum today, and that is our E combo rating. So the E combo rating is going to be exactly what you just saw. It is going to basically rate our combo based on how many inputs we provided. Now this could be an arbitrary value, like I'm doing every 2 additional hits is the next rating. That is entirely up to you. So I'm making a new U enum that is blueprint type so we can access it in the blueprint. And it is enum class E combo rating, unsigned integer 8-bit. As for my actual selections, I have default, which is no combo, good, which is good, great, which is great, and so on and so forth. Again, these are all arbitrary, so call them whatever you want. For me, good is 2 hits or more, great is 4 hits or more, excellent is 6 hits or more, awesome is 8 hits or more, and combo king is 10 hits or more. Now, this is the actual value that matters, this E underscore default, E underscore good. These are the actual names of the enum. These display names are useful for when we are in the blueprint, what they show up as. Also, they can be used to actually display this value as the name when we're playing the game. So instead of writing new logic to display these specific strings, we can just take the name of the enum. Now, in the test I did earlier, you saw that I had gotten a combo king combo, and it actually had the underscore in between them because the display name did. Well, I don't want that. It is okay if you do, but typically you won't want that. This is my naming convention. For enums, I almost always do underscores between spaced words. However, in this case, I want to use no underscore because I actually want to be able to just display this text to the user. So whatever I have in this umeta display name is what's going to show up on the screen and on the HUD today. One additional thing, there is something I'm doing down here that I haven't covered yet. I had to record an episode in advance. And so while this will be covered in the series, you won't have this yet. So don't worry about it. This is not intended for you to add today. We will cover it. It has not been forgotten and you didn't miss it. Now, once we have this E combo rating down, we're good to go in the base game instance. In fact, we don't even have to make a variable or set a value in the constructor for it this time, because actually our fighter template character.h already includes our base game instance.h file. This will allow us to just make variables of that type in here, and specifically each player is going to want to have a variable for this. Essentially, we just want player 1 and player 2 to both have a combo, because if you're in a tag team match, and if you have more than one character, if they are incrementing your combo, then that player is still the one that received the combo. So fighter template character.h, I'm scrolling down to my enum variables, and I've added a new one, which is e combo rating, and I called it last combo rating received. This is very similar to how we've done last stun frames received, last damage received, and that sort of thing. Made it U property, edit anywhere, blueprint read write with the category of combo so we can access it and change it in the blueprint if needed. We're definitely going to need it to be at least visible today so we can add it to our HUD. Once you've made this variable, you can go into fighter template character.cpp, scroll down to your constructor, and I set my variable in here. Last combo rating received equals e combo rating : e default, which is that no combo, in which case it won't be displayed on the screen. Now with this setup, we're going to need a way to determine what type of combo we have achieved, and we can do that whenever we increment our combo. So if our combo is increasing, then there's a good chance that we may want to display a new word to the player, or a new rating or rank to the player. So if we go to our take damage function, scroll down to it or search for it, however you want to find it. In this function, in the previous episode, we had set up logic to increment the combo counter, assuming that the conditions were correct. And the conditions are the character being hit and taking damage is still stunned prior to the hit, thus they are still within the combo. Or this is the first hit of a chain, and thus we can assume that we have at least one hit in the combo. At that point, we were incrementing the combo counter. Now, once the combo counter has been incremented, we may want to check to see if a rank has been achieved. This is because when we are damaging our opponents, we may want to see the rank alongside the combo counter. So we know 2 is good, 4 is great. If you only want the rank to show up at the end once the combo is finished, you won't want to call this function and take damage. I actually will cover where you can put this to make that sort of logic happen. If you're setting yours up like I have shown in the beginning of this episode, then what you'll want to do is call other player determined combo rating. Remember, we are in take damage, and the combo counter being incremented is the other player, because the other player is the one that hit this player. So the other player is the one that needs their combo rating determined. Now this function you won't have yet, so let's go ahead and add a new function in our fighter template character.h. Go to where all your functions are, and I've added a new one here called determine combo rating directly under my end combo, although you can place it anywhere in here that you want. Doesn't need to be U function and doesn't need any parameters because we'll just take our last combo rating received and work off that logic. So once you've made this function in the header file, we can go back into the CPP. We can scroll down until we get to our end combo function. In end combo, we were setting the combo counter of the player to 0 because their combo has ended. At this point, we also want to make sure that we set our last combo rating received to e combo rating default. At this point, the combo counter is 0, so their rating is also 0. It's not necessarily required that you do this because you could use the last combo rating received to keep track of the last combo rating that the player performed, even after it's gone. That actually won't cause any issues, but you may need to change some things with the HUD to actually make that look right, get it working as you want it. However, this one is very open-ended. There are a lot of different choices, and there are a lot of different ways that games do this. I'm setting it back to default here so that it will fade away with the combo counter once the combo finishes. I also have an additional comment in here, which is determine the rating rank of the combo before resetting the counter. So once a character's combo ends, we could call determine combo rating before setting the combo counter back to 0 and before resetting the last combo rating received. This would allow us to actually keep track of the combo rating that that combo evaluates to and display it to the user after the combo counter is finished racking up. This would be really useful if you wanted to display the rank of the combo after the combo counter has gone away. You could put it in the same spot. A lot of games do that. If you want the combo rating to be displayed alongside the combo counter, you'll want to put it in take damage. But if you want it to be displayed at the end of the combo, then you want to put it right here in the end combo function. Below that, I've set up our actual determine combo rating function, so go ahead and write this now. Void a fighter template character, : determine combo rating. Inside this function, it's actually very simple. There's a lot of ifs and else ifs, but it's not complicated. So I have if combo counter is greater than an arbitrary value. I start with my highest value. If my combo counter is 10 or greater, I would like to display the rating eComboKing to the user or to the player and award them with those points when we get into that. Else, if it's not greater than 9, but it is greater than 7, we should give it a rating of awesome. Else, if it's not greater than 7, but it is greater than 5, we should give it a rating of excellent. Else, if it's not greater than 5, but it is greater than 3, we should give it a rating of great. Else, if it's not greater than 3, but it is greater than 1, we should give it a rating of good. And else, we'll just give it a default, which is no combo rating. That's actually all the logic we need to determine the proper combo rating based on these arbitrary values. You could assign these to numbers, you could have constants that represent what these values are, or you could hard code it like this. It really doesn't matter in this case because these aren't going to be something that change between game modes. Most likely they're just going to be related to some global value of this many hits in a combo is this type of combo. Once we have all that code in, we can go into the engine and we're going to go back to our HUD just like we did in the previous episode. Now, I have everything as I had already set up in here except for 2 new additional text boxes. And I did change the anchor and position on this one, just so that everything could be even. This text box is my P2 combo counter that we set up in the previous episode. I've just anchored it to top right and changed the position to these values. Most likely you don't have to even do this because it just depends on how you set up your HUD. What we want to do in this widget is add our new text that displays our combo rating. So you can probably guess what we're going to do if you watch the last episode because it's going to be pretty similar. We are going to want to grab 2 text widgets and I put them on my canvas panel, but as I mentioned in the previous episode, wherever you have your HUD set up is fine, so don't stress about that. But I've added 2 text widgets. One is called P1 combo rating text and the other is P2 combo rating text. Now let's start with P1 combo rating text. So it's anchored to the top left and here are my positions. By default, I have added some text that just says awesome with an exclamation mark. And then I bound the text, but we'll go over the binding in a second. Again, I will show you all of my values, but all of this is just for how I want it to look, so yours could vary. Justification is center of this field because the text is going to be different sizes. Like for me, Combo King is of course much larger in terms of how many letters there are than something like good. Combo King has 9 letters in it total, whereas good has only 4 letters in it. Putting the justification from middle means that it will spawn in the middle of this text box. So it won't matter the size of it. Additionally, I have not checked size to content because if you check this, it can change the position of where it is on the screen based on what text is given. Once you have this one set up, I went ahead and duplicated it, but you could just add another piece of text if you want. I anchored this one to top right and gave it the inverse position. Since P1 was anchored to top left and the position of X was 155, P2 is anchored to top right and is given a position of -155. If you're doing that method, then you'll want to change the alignment to be 1.0 on the one on the right. That way it starts from the right side, not the left, when it's doing its math calculations. I put in the default text of Combo King. Here are all of my design values. My justification is centered again. And there you go. I did not make either of them variables. It is not required, so I did not do it. But I did bind each of the texts and each of the visibility. So let's start with P1. And I'm going to go to the content text section. Click the bind and hit create binding. When you do this, it'll automatically bring you to the graph, and it will bring you to the function. For me, it is called get P1 combo rating text. Yours may be a longer or uglier name. I just renamed mine because I think it's a little bit annoying to see the generic name there, but it is entirely up to you. Once you get in here, you'll have your main node here and then a return node. This is the logic we are going to add. It's actually very simple. For the text of this area, we just want to display whatever is in last combo rating received. In the event graph, we had set up a game mode reference. And so I use that game mode reference in a lot of our bindings to grab values, and I use my game mode reference. So get game mode reference, and then I get the player that this is referring to. This is going to be player 1 or whoever is on the left. If you have side selection, it won't just be player 1, but we haven't gotten to that yet. And then we want to grab our new variable, last combo rating received. At this point, we want to put this in the return node, but you actually can't just put it in. It won't convert for you automatically. So you can drag off your last combo rating received and type toString, and you can find a node that says enum toString. Then you can plug this into return node, or you can plug it into toText string. When you do this, you can now pass your return node into the actual return node on this function. So return value goes into return node here. Now, that's all we need for get P1 combo rating text. Get P2 combo rating text is basically just as simple. We're just going to use player 2 here. So if you go to your P2 combo rating text, bind it, create binding, it will open up this function right here. And you can see I have exactly the same logic, but instead of player 1 on the game mode reference, I'm using player 2. Now, that's pretty good. There's one other thing we want to set up, and that is the visibility of these, because we want them to hide at the same time the combo counter hides. If there is no combo rating right now, we don't want to be displaying this text. But if there is, we do want to be displaying it. So if we click on our P1 combo rating text and scroll down to our visibility, by default for me, it was visible, but I've gone ahead and hit bind and create binding, which has brought me to this function right here. Get P1 combo rating text visibility. And we're going to start out the same way as we did for the other two bindings. We're going to get our game mode reference, grab the player we are referencing, grab last combo rating received. But this time we're going to check not equal to, because we want to make sure that it's not equal to no combo, or essentially our default value. However, if it's not equal to no combo, we want to just make it not hit testable. Not hit testable is actually better for performance than visible, because visible will still check for collisions with the cursor. So essentially, last combo rating received, not equal. You're going to choose not equal enum. You're going to select no combo, which is the default. Then you're going to bring the return of that into a branch. If it's true, we're going to use the return node that's there and return the value not hit testable, self and all children, which means we aren't going to be able to click on it at any point, or any of this widget's children. If the branch is false, we want to add a return node like this, and we want to leave the return value as hidden because we want to hide it, and we want it to occupy layout space. What this means is if we have anything that is dependent on something else on the HUD, like positional wise, if this one sets the hidden, it will still leave everything else where it's at. Otherwise, if it goes to collapse, other things can move around. We don't want them to be collapsed. We want them to be hidden. Now from here, it's also super simple because we can go back into the designer, go to our P2 combo rating text, scroll down to our visibility, hit bind, create binding, let it take you to the function, which is right here. And again, this is going to be exactly the same as P1 combo rating text visibility, except we're using player 2 for the game mode reference. So game mode reference, player 2, last combo rating received. If it's not equal to no combo, then we return not hit testable. Otherwise, we return hidden. Now, one final thing I'd like to go over before we wrap up this episode is the two functions, the two bindings from the other episode, which is get P1 combo counter visibility and get P2 combo counter visibility. These two functions are still working the same as they have. They don't need to be changed except for the return nodes. The return nodes were visible and collapsed. They should actually be not hit testable, self and all children, and hidden for the best results. You probably will see no changes in your logic from doing this, but it is technically slightly faster and better for our scaling, so I would recommend doing it, even though it will have very minimal effects. With that done, guys, you can now have your combo ratings on your HUD, and even though we can't do anything with them yet, we will be able to use these combo ratings that we receive for score in the future, so they are a little bit more important than they initially seem. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today, so thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed and this helped you make combo ratings and improve your combo counter, then please subscribe. I'm going to give a huge shout out to my YouTube membership and Patreon members and supporters. Thank you guys for all the love and support. Really glad you guys are enjoying the series, and I hope you continue to show me all the epic progress on your games. If you had any issues with this tutorial or any of my tutorials, feel free to join the Discord community. I would be happy to help you out, and it is completely free. Anyway, guys, that's all I got, so thank you so much for watching. I'm Shawnthebro, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.